Hey gearheads, and welcome to Garage Talk. I'm Corey, and this is the recently updated 2024 Honda Passport TrailSport. Yes, this is the second Passport TrailSport we've had on the channel, but there are some updates for the 2024 model year. And in this video, I'll go through all of those, as well as talk about how it compares to that Ridgeline TrailSport we had, well, last week, and the Pilot TrailSport, which is actually all new and doesn't really share too much with this anymore. Stay tuned. Yes, gearheads, huge thanks to Honda for fully outfitting me here in 2024 with TrailSport models. We started off in January with the Pilot TrailSport, which is an all-new platform. And then just last week, we were in the truck version of this vehicle in the Ridgeline TrailSport. And now we get the Passport TrailSport, which is the two-row SUV version of the TrailSport line. And as per usual, we'll go ahead and start with what motivates this thing underneath the hood. Yes, it is a tried and true naturally aspirated 3.5 liter V6. And yes, you can tell just by looking in here, it's mounted the wrong way. This is a front wheel drive based platform, though it is all-wheel drive being a TrailSport model, and it has a rather spectacular, let's see if I can get this right, IVT M4. 4M, M4, there we go. Intelligent variable torque management system, and it does send power to all four wheels. That power being 280 horsepower and 262 pound-feet of torque. It can send up to 70% of power to the rear wheels. So yes, even though this is a front drive based platform, you can send up to 70% of torque to the back, and it can send up to 100% of that torque to run one rear wheel. So you can send up to 70% of the torque to one rear wheel. And I will go ahead and say, I inadvertently may have made those marks when testing out the Ridgeline TrailSport. And yes, now we have essentially the same vehicle in this two-row Passport TrailSport SUV. As we close the hood and take a look at the styling, you will note all the black accents of this one and all the orange contrast on this one. That is because this is the TrailSport model. It is kind of a dark appearance package on the outside. We also get the black front bumper and all that good stuff. But I really like the updated look, since I do believe 2022 with this more boxier styling, it definitely gives it a more rugged appearance from all angles. A little less soft-roader, a little more serious off-roader. Again, though it's not the most aggressive when it comes to off-road. Definitely not going to be swapping out a Wrangler Rubicon with a Passport TrailSport, but it is a fairly good vehicle. I already mentioned how good that intelligent variable torque management system really is at delivering power, and we'll talk more about that here in just a moment. I do want to talk about the ground clearance in this. This actually has more ground clearance than the Ridgeline did at 8.1 inches versus the Ridgeline's 7.64. The approach angle is also better than the Ridgeline at 21.1 degrees versus the Ridgeline's 20.4. The departure angle is better at 24.3 versus the Ridgeline's 19.6. So this is a little more capable by the numbers vehicle off-road than the Ridgeline, but still just a little bit of, I keep using the term, a soft roader, and that is because of the tires. The tires are updated for the 2024 model year. When we had our 22, they had Firestone destination tires. Now we have General Grabber all-terrain tires, and I can tell you from testing out the Ridgeline in some East Texas red dirt, they were the weak point. It was not the traction management system. That thing worked like a champ. It actually made this thing quite boring to drive on camera or to do anything fun or stupid in. But the real down point for us were these tires. They just did not get rid of the dirt, and they very quickly became racing slicks in slick mud, and that just didn't work all that well for us. So that is why I kind of poo-poo on this as a serious off-roader. And that is an easy fix. Even though Honda tried to fix it with these General Grabbers, it's still not the best when it comes to anything crazy off-road. Otherwise, up front, you can see we get LED headlights, LED running lights, incandescent turn signals, and LED fog lamps down very low. The placement of the turn signals is very interesting to me. Again, here in East Texas, most vehicles sit up much higher than this, and those could be very hard to be seen. As we come around to the side, you can see we get all the requisite black body cladding down low for an off-road vehicle. We get black mirror caps, black window line, sans all the chrome of all the other trims of the Honda Passport. And you just get a generally nice cleaned up look. No frills, no muss, no fuss. And it is a very tidy look, especially when compared to the Ridgeline. This fits in our 1963 built garage so much better than the much longer Ridgeline did. And it is a better vehicle to maneuver, but we'll talk about that when we get into the driving portion. As we come around to the back, echoing what I was mentioning up front with the turn signals, incandescent turn signals back here in the back as well, which is rather interesting to me that here in 2024, even after some mild exterior updates, that we still have incandescent lights on what is approaching a $50,000 SUV. I believe this one's just over 47 as spec'd, but we do get LED brake lights and running lights back here, so that is a nice touch. Again, more black accents, black Passport badge, black all-wheel drive badge, black TrailSport badge. I really do like the dual exit exhausts. You can see there chrome exhaust tips that are much larger than the actual exhaust hiding back behind them, but otherwise, it gives it a nice sporty appearance back here. And no, this is not a steel skid plate or anything. This is plastic, but it does give that rugged appearance and that rugged look. The big news when talking about the Passport is just how much room is back here in the back. Class leading rear cargo capacity, 50.5 cubic feet behind the second row of seats. That is because this is based on the last generation Honda Pilot. They just chopped a few inches off the back, removed the rear seat, and called it a day. And I am blown away every time I open this hatch just how much room is back here. It is massive, though I feel like the floor is just a little high. It's a weird placement. We'll talk about that here in just a second. We do get some power outlets back here, or power outlet back here. You do get a spot for a roller shade. You would see it does connect right there. So you can hide stuff underneath the back here. And we do get power releases for the 60/40 split bench second row seat. I'll go ahead and fold that down to show you just how much more room. It's over 100 cubic feet of cargo space in this. And now we're flirting with minivan territory. This does share a platform in a roundabout way with the Honda Odyssey. And yeah, like Honda has done so much with interior packaging. This is one of the biggest reasons alone to buy this vehicle, just how much room is inside of it in a rather compact exterior proportion. Like it fits very well in our very old garage. You do get some additional storage here underneath the false load floor. You can see my entire backpack fits down here very nicely. And you might be wondering, well, like there looks like there should be more. And let's see if I could do this one-handed because it does attach, but this is where your temporary spare is. And this is why the floor seems so high. I do believe that's a subwoofer right there, but you get some additional storage right here and your temporary spare tire. So even more storage. And they even give you this little clip hook and clip to hold that up in place right here. So you can get to it rather nicely if you needed to. But yes, all of this is why this rear floor just seems so immensely high compared to others. You can't drop that floor down. You can't really do a whole lot, but you can get back here. And again, just an immense amount of room and space back here in the back. You can see that metal seat belt is up there in the ceiling. I'm sure we'll talk about that here in just a little bit. As far as space under the hatch here, I'm 5'10", and yeah, plenty of space. It opens up nice and wide. Isn't a problem with our 1963 built home. Very nice and easy. And then the power button to close it is right there. Moving to the inside of this one, this is actually where I want to spend most of my time because it's April 1st as I'm recording this, and the humidity of East Texas has already set in. So we're going to quickly get in there. I like Honda's key, nice, compact, has all the necessary stuff on it. They come pre-numbered, and that is tied to the seating position because we do have two-person memory seats in this. which I really like. You can see the buttons are right there. It doesn't work for us too well with press vehicles. We only get one set of keys, so Holly is constantly having to press that too, because it will automatically put itself in that driver 1 position anytime it notices that is the key that started the vehicle. Really like Honda's storage here in the doors. Nice big storage spot here. Storage, cup holder, storage down here, big enough for my umbrella. You can see hatch button, fuel door button right there. All very nice, nicely padded armrests, nice materials here. Get a multi-way positional seat with 2-way lumbar, which is very nice, and all-weather floor mats, which comes in handy when you are in the dirt. But oh, that's so much better. It's nice at 68 degrees in here versus 75 and like 100% humidity outside. So yes, it's already getting disgusting, and it's only April. Yeah. Oh, I'm surprised my hair isn't just like everywhere. It kind of is, but anyway, some things that differentiate this from the Ridgeline. Well, this steering wheel. This is the older steering wheel. This is what the Ridgeline used to have, but the Ridgeline got a new updated steering wheel. We still get the old one here in the Passport with these round buttons here, and the old gauge cluster. Not as much a big fan of this gauge cluster after spending some time in the Ridgeline. It doesn't show you simple things like where your cruise control is set, like the speed you are set to. It also doesn't show you your gap adjustment when you turn on your gap adjustment on your automatic adaptive cruise control. So it's just lacking in some of the information that it tells you, but you can page through a bunch of different things, including that torque management screen, which I really like watching because it shows you exactly where it's putting down all the power. You can also turn that tack on and off across the top, though don't really know why you'd want to do that. Over my left knee here, we get our mirror controls. They are power folding mirrors, so that does help with the fact that this is a fairly wide vehicle. You really feel it when you sit inside here. The center console is nice and wide. Other than that, we have an econ button. Don't push the econ button. It may help with fuel economy, but it absolutely kills your power and your fun. Like oof. You know if you accidentally press it, because it feels like you've lost tons of power. It's just not that responsive. Poverty blank right here, traction control button, your collision avoidance button, lane keeping, heated washer fluid, and your parking sensor button, all here over left knee. And then we get an old school step pedal version of an emergency brake. No electronic emergency brake here. Really do like the padded steering wheel, the perforated leather, the orange stitching. We get paddle shifters. They're plastic. I don't even know why I used my ring. Another differentiation from the Ridgeline. The Ridgeline had the brightness for the screen controls actually buried in the screen controls. You had to do it with the steering wheel. It had a cutout here for these 2 buttons, but it didn't have these 2 buttons. Why'd you remove that, Honda? That's like the one worst thing about the Ridgeline's setup than this. Everything else was better, but like, give us a physical buttons. That was so weird. Speaking of physical buttons, we don't have physical buttons here like we did in the Ridgeline. Ridgeline had a physical home, back, and brightness button. These are like touch sensitive areas on the screen-ish the physical buttons were better. It was an easier target to hit, even though it's essentially the same size. Other problems here, as you can see, wired only Apple CarPlay. Like, it is essentially the same vehicle as the Ridgeline we just had. Same head unit, mostly. Why are we only using wired CarPlay here in this one? And I do believe this is the more popular out of the Ridgeline and the Passport. And it's weird to me, right? Like, just weird that wired Apple CarPlay, especially in 2024. Volume knob here, otherwise very typical stuff. It works as advertised. Also from the Ridgeline, which Ridgeline really got it from here, Ridgeline, Tri-Zone climate control works well, really like it, very nice. I do like how you have your own fan speed back here in the back, really works nice. A little bit of storage cubbies here, though they are not too deep. Heated but not ventilated front seats. I do believe you can get ventilated on other trims, which is probably where I'd spend my money. Because really on the TrailSport, all you get are the interior accents here on the seats, the all-weather floor mats, which could be added after, the wheels and tires, which could be added after, and that is about it. I do believe there's an oil pan skid underneath us. That can be added afterwards. So really, if you want more luxury, get you something like an Elite trim, because it still has the same 4-wheel drive modes with all your different driving modes here: normal, sand, snow, and mud. But just with the tires that I really didn't care for too much here in this one. So you could probably do yourself one better and have ventilated seats if you go with a different trim. Qi wireless charger, that works. Meh. Storage pad right here. We do have a USB-A interface for the wired Apple CarPlay and a USB-C interface for power. And then here we have a cigarette lighter style outlet. We have a couple cup holders and then push button gear selectors. This isn't saving you any more room over having a mechanical one. You know, I'm not the biggest of fans, but that is where you get your drive mode button. You also get your auto start stop off, which on a humid, muggy day like today, I definitely want to be using that more often than not. But let's see, we'll put that back in normal. We'll turn that back on, and then we'll talk about center console. Very nice, very roomy. I like this little shelf here. It's rubberized, so it's not gonna make a lot of noise. Rubberized down here, so that's not gonna make a lot of noise. Very nice, very wide. Down here, we've got a fairly good center console. It is damped, but not lined with felt, and I'll go ahead and pull it out here just because I know that they were in there. You can see fuel economy, 19 city, 24 highway, 21 combined, 46,330 for this vehicle as equipped. So not a bad value proposition in the segment when you consider all the off-road goodies. Again, the seats are leather wrapped. They're nice. They're comfortable. We've put a lot of highway miles on them. Generally very comfortable. You'll have to tune in, hit that subscribe button to see what Holly thinks of them. No panoramic glass roof above us. We just get this normal sized sunroof with a manual sliding shade here. Also interesting note, the Pilot got a convex mirror right here, and possibly other Passport trims do as well, but no convex mirror on the sunglass holder. Drop down right there. All your controls for your that sunroof right there. I am very impressed with just how much room or visibility is out that back window. That was a shortcoming of the Ridgeline with its tiny, very close to you back window. This has a very large and in charge back window. Otherwise, coming to me, very comfortable in here. Plenty of headroom, plenty of room. Again, I talked about how wide the center console is. I really like it in here. This is a very comfortable vehicle. We'll talk more about how comfortable it is when we put this thing into motion, which will be shortly, trust me. Hopping into the back seat, there are a lot of things back here I really like, most of which the sunshades that are built into the rear doors that cover almost the entirety of the back windows. That is a very nice touch. Those stick-on ones do not stay stuck on for long, and yeah, it's annoying. We get two cup holders here where the Ridgeline got a cup holder and a phone holder. So older style door, but it is also a different door panel altogether than what the Ridgeline had because of the cutout here for the wheels. So different door leads to different door. Looking at the seats, there are a lot of cool things about these seats. First of all, they are sliding seats. They are 60/40 split bench seats. And if you can't tell by that handle, they are reclining seats. So I like that a lot. We do get lower latch points on both sides here. We get one in the center seat, but you're going to have to steal from right here if you plan on putting one in the passenger seat. I already talked about the third seatbelt being up here in the ceiling. So if you wanted to fold those seats down, you don't have that intruding into your way. I'm getting back in because, again, the humidity, my goodness. I know it's a little dark back here, but we've got mat pocket here, all the storage in the door, multiple levels in the door. And then your air vents back here, which are oh so nice. Two USB-C ports back here and a household style plug right there. Really like the very flat load floor in here with this one piece all-weather floor mat. That is a nice touch. Also, very nice touch, fold down center armrest. And because, again, I keep talking about the width of this vehicle, normally in vehicles of this size or class, I'm like bumping Tucker's child safety seat, putting the armrest down, or like you saw earlier, folding the 60/40 split bench seat down. I've got no problems. This really feels almost like a early 2000s full-size pickup truck inside. It really is large and roomy and spacious, and one of its best selling points is its interior, like this is a very nice, very comfortable place to be. You can see I still have plenty of room back here since we don't have a big panoramic roof. Still like tons of headroom back here. Very nice. And I haven't even shown you, let's see. Yes, it reclines a little bit, but again, we've got that spare tire right back behind me. So let's see, if I scoot it forward, does it recline more? Maybe? No, but I really like all the functionality of these back seats, the 60/40 slide, and the folding and all that. If you want to see me put in Tucker's child safety seat, hit that subscribe button down below, ring the bell, because we will do that in our family video. That's enough sitting around chit-chatting about it. Let's see how it actually drives. And I'm gonna try and not repeat what I did with the Ridgeline, and we'll just show you how this thing performs off-road before taking it on-road. All right, gearheads. Oh, I'm basking in the air conditioning. It's just so much better. It's only April, guys. It is only April, and the ick is here. But I film all of this in this mosquito-infested field to show you what this is like when it is off-road. It does have an off-road tuned suspension, which is nice, and it does help soak up a lot of bumps. Here we're gonna go over some washboard stuff. Like, yeah, okay, it soaks up the bumps. That's nice, but you're really not going to be doing like a lot of intense off-roading in this. That's not what this is for. This is more to get you to a trail, to get you out, maybe to a secluded campsite, something like that. But it's not going to be too crazy in what it can actually afford you. Again, the traction management system in this is absolutely excellent. It is the tires that are a letdown. If you really want to see why I keep bringing up the tires, go check out our second channel, GT Premium Reviews, where we put that Ridgeline through its paces. It is literally sliding sideways through the mud because the tires just aren't gripping. But as we get onto pavement, where most of these vehicles are going to spend most, if not all of their time, this is a very comfortable vehicle. You do make some trade-offs in road noise with these all-terrain tires, but they look so cool, right? That's why you buy the TrailSport. It looks cool. And this is definitely cashing in on that increasing off-road flair that so many manufacturers are going to. Yes, I understand not everybody like me has Barnwell in their backyard where they can go truly off-road test vehicles. Not everybody like me likes to do what I like to do off-road with articulation and wheel spin and stuff like that. Some people just want to get to their destination, and some people just need a good vehicle to do this. This is a very solidly built vehicle. As I pass by our Honda dealership here in town, this has not creaked or rattled or been a problem with us. It is so quiet, so solid, so nicely built that I've enjoyed my time with it. Again, I will say a little bit of trade-off in road noise with those all-terrain tires. Otherwise, this is a very pleasant place to be. I tell you, we've put tons of highway miles on this. I've put a lot of seat time actually in this seat because Holly picked me up from the airport in this. She actually got delivery of this while I was out of town. And yeah, it's just good. It works very well. I told y'all earlier, I generally like to watch the torque management screen here in front of me. And 90% of the time, all the power is going through the front wheels, but under acceleration, things like that, you can see the power is sent to the rear. If you get in a sticky on-road situation, if you lose some traction, it's actually going to send that back there without you even noticing it, and like at the drop of a hat. It works very well, and I have not been disappointed whatsoever in how this thing is performed. It's not exciting, it's not a thrilling vehicle, but it gets the job done. And for the people that are shopping competent two-row SUVs and crossovers, this one fits the bill very nicely. And at $47,000, essentially as this one is equipped, it's a fairly nice bargain. Though that naturally aspirated V6 under the hood is a little on the thirsty side, so there are some trade-offs there as well. And of course, wireless Apple CarPlay. What, the fact that this has wired CarPlay and USB-A wired CarPlay in 2024 is when this same vehicle in truck form has wireless. I guess I'm most upset about that because we did just have the truck and it feels very much the same in here, but wired. USB-A wired. Driving this around, visibility is excellent. The windows are huge. The mirrors are huge. We even have this little extra window right here. Visibility is good. I showed you out of the back window. Excellent, excellent rearward visibility. I am a little saddened that this only has a backup camera. It doesn't have full 360 cameras, even though we have full 360 parking sensors. So if you get too close to something, you'll get beeps and chimes and alerts up here, but you can't see it. And I really wish you could see it with 360 cameras, especially when you're talking about an off-road model. It would be very nice to have front-facing cameras so that you can see where your tires are going more than anything. Not to be used as a spotter, because these cameras generally flatten out everything, but just to let you know, hey, there's a tree or a box in the way and you might want to go around it. So a front-facing camera would be very nice. Hyundai, not in their Santa Fe, which really competes with this, but in their Santa Cruz little trucklet, which competes more with the Ridgeline, recently unveiled the 2025 version of their XRT off-road trim, and they did put a front-facing camera on that one. So, you know, we're thinking about things like this now, and that is perhaps the one additional thing I would like to see on this, with maybe some ventilated seats at this price point for comfort, and some better off-road tires. I hate to keep beating that dead horse, but the tires, they're not the best. And I know that is an easy fix and upgrade. Maybe worth checking out if you really like this vehicle and this platform. So what does this compete with? Well, the closest thing I can think of in overall shape, size, design, front wheel drive bias, yada, 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 is what I'm passing up right now in the Ford Edge. And this thing has a very similar size profile to it, but it just feels so much bigger when you get here on the inside. And with this competent all-wheel drive system is most likely the one I would be shopping for. I mean, it's not a bad powertrain. And again, the torque management system does a great job. The transmission has not let us down the entire time that we've had it. It's been exactly what you would expect from a family vehicle from Honda. Does what you want it to, when you want it to, how you want it to, as long as that isn't like wild and crazy and sliding that tail out. Otherwise, if you want to see what this is like for our family in real life family situations with Tucker riding in the back seat, absolutely go find us on all social media channels, Facebook, Instagram, X, TikTok, Threads, YouTube, you name it, at GT Garage Talk, or you can find us at gtgaragetalk.com. Hit that subscribe button down below and ring the bell so you're notified every time a new video drops from us. And as for me, well, yeah, I'm stuck in traffic now, unfortunately, which is where, again, most of these are going to spend their time. Otherwise, until next time, gearheads.